how's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody. This is your host, JR Wisdom, and this is the Cuff and Reason Show. Coming at you with episode 8 this evening. And as usual, we have a wonderful guest tonight. You guys didn't hear me over my copyright music. You know what I'm saying? I said, shout out where you from, age, sex, gender, whatever have you, because I'm trying to see where everybody's from tonight. You know what I mean? As usual, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, mods. Y'all know what to do. Let's keep it lit in the chat. So without further ado, man, y'all know how we do here. I got a special guest tonight. Beautiful young lady. We're gonna find out some great things. Y'all seen her face. Y'all may know her. She's on the thumbnail. If you're coming here from IG, you already know who she is. But we're going to get to know her a little better, a little more intimately, outside of what you may or may not know about her. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the beautiful, lovely, and talented Miss Tynisha. How you doing? Tynisha?
Hi,
What's up?
I'm good. How are you? I'm feeling amazing.
You're feeling amazing. This is the greatest day of my life. You already know.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So Tynisha, you're a breath of fresh air. Just joined in here. Where are you calling in from tonight? For those who are wanting to know,
I am in Atlanta, Georgia. The A. Yes.
Atlanta, Georgia. What part? What part of the A? For
Well,
those,
if I
tell
y'all where I'm from, y'all gonna say it's not Atlanta. I'm in Marietta. I'm in the outskirts of Georgia, but I still claim Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I see you. She's in Marietta. Okay, that's what northern Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay, northern part of Atlanta. Okay. For those, shout out to Marietta. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, that whole lotto thing she got going on, claiming who's from Atlanta and who's not. But hey, it is. Are you originally from Atlanta or are you a transplant? What's going on?
I'm a transplant like most people. I'm from New York originally, so that's home. Always repping New York. Yes.
Got you. What part of for those New Yorkers? Because I know we got some tuned in. What part of New York?
I'm not from downstate, so I already know people from the city. Bronx will be like, I'm not from New York for real, but I'm from Rochester, New York, upstate.
You're from Rochester.
Yeah,
Rochester, New York. I was just talking. I know I made a off camera or before we went live. I was just talking about the first 48 and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know many of us who may not be from the area may not know too much about New York. We know for sure about Rochester. That would be because of that. So you're from New York. How long you been in Atlanta?
It will be almost 3 years in August. So 2.5, almost 3 years.
Okay. So
yeah.
What was the motivation to move into Atlanta? What was the motivation?
More opportunity. I feel like I outgrew New York. It's because it's not the city. Maybe the city would have been different, but the opportunities were limited. You just said first 48. I feel like we're known more for violence than people's success. So I had to dip out, pursue bigger and better things.
Yeah. So when you say outgrew, so you said you were like what, 20? I'm assuming you're in your 20s. How old are you?
I am. Yes, I'm 29.
So you're 29. So you're about what, 26 when you made the move?
Yes. Yep.
So why at that point would you say that you outgrew the city?
I mean, I just felt like it was getting to a point where I felt if I didn't leave at that point, I was never going to leave because I would have gotten too comfortable. I don't have any kids. I didn't have a boyfriend. So I was just ready to go before I had all of the baggage and the stuff. So it was perfect timing.
So what were you doing up there before you left?
I mean, aside from my normal like career 9 to 5, I worked at a college. So that was pretty much what I was doing. I hadn't really dipped into YouTube or much of the content creation space. It was mostly that. Wasn't doing a lot.
Okay. So at a college, I'm just what field of work are you in? What line of work are you in?
So I'm in higher education. So I work with college students. It varies. Like back then I was a recruiter. So I traveled to different parts of states and taught students in a college, but now I'm more of like a counselor, mentor type of role.
So you do the same thing in Atlanta now?
No, I don't do the same thing. In New York, I did a lot of recruitment. So I had to travel all the time for work. Now I'm a little bit more settled. Like I don't have to travel a lot, but I'm still in college settings. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like I worded that wrong. So you're basically in the same field, but not doing the same thing.
Right. Correct.
Exactly. lack of better words. Okay. So 26, that's around that time for a lot of people, that the mid 20s, where they kind
Mhm.
of figure out it's a transition point, supposedly, especially for um men and women in particular, in the whole, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it now before I get into my 30s. So was it
Mhm.
like, had you already been to Atlanta when you moved down there, or it was just like, I'm just gonna go because I hear that this is like the Mecca, so to
Oh no,
speak?
I'm not one of those people. I have to have a plan. I have to see the vision, and I have to
Yeah.
carry it out. So I definitely have visited. A large part of it was, though, all of the things that I heard. I wanted to go to college in Atlanta, so Spelman, Clark, Atlanta, those were my top choices, but I didn't go. So Atlanta had always
Mhm.
been a place I wanted to be because of the reputation. But then when I visited for myself, that's what kind of solidified my move.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so you already had everything planned out before you touched down. Everything was already set.
I'm
Like,
not gonna say everything, but I had an idea that I wanted to
yeah.
be here. I didn't really know what opportunities Atlanta would bring. That was definitely a surprise, but I knew that something bigger was here, and so that's what I was going for.
Got it.
Mhm.
So main thing, I'm gonna just jump right into it. So
Ooh,
in
okay.
terms of, yeah. So you already said, and I think I've seen something. You already said having no kids is a flex, which obviously that's a big thing that we see in these YouTube streets. A woman that doesn't have kids, and especially, you made it to practically almost 30 and you don't have any children.
Mhm.
So no, when you left, you said you had no boyfriend. What can you say is the main difference you noticed between dating in Rochester and dating in Atlanta? Is there like any difference, or are dudes all the same? What's going on?
Yeah, I would honestly say that dating in both places, it was trash, but it's worse in Atlanta because in New York, I felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. I think that if you are from a smaller city and you're a pretty girl and you have a social media following, you're kind of treated
Hmm.
as like a small town celebrity or like a mini celebrity in some ways. And then you move
Right.
somewhere like Atlanta, and that's kind of the standard for most women. You realize, and you're like, oh
Right.
shit, this is everybody else who was here. So it's a different experience in that regard because men have a lot of options now. So it's like I don't
Yes.
have to chase you as much because there's 100 more of you
Facts. Facts.
physically, mentally, no, physically, yes, here in Atlanta.
So you said mentally no, physically. Say that
Yes.
again. I'm sorry.
So I said
Repeat
I
that.
said that men don't feel like they have to chase because they see it as me being like there's a lot of me out there physically. So I think that physically
Right.
the
Right.
aesthetic, yes, there's a lot of women here. Mentally, I'm not sure I would say there's a lot of me here, but those are just the things
Hmm.
that I observe. Yes.
So aesthetically, there's a lot of yous.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So is Rochester a small? Is it a small? Is that considered a small town?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In Rochester, you can get everywhere in like 15, 20 minutes. If you go over 20 minutes, that's super far. You're going way, way outside of Rochester. Atlanta is, you may know, is like the standard is 30
Right.
minutes to get everywhere.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that. I just assumed Rochester was like a bigger city. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? Wow. Okay. So you were a big fish in a small pond. You said
Yeah, I feel
in
like somebody gonna
Rochester.
come for me.
Or did
That
you do
sounds
it?
mean to say, but that's literally what
No,
it
no,
feels
no,
like. So
no. I mean, you said
yeah.
you was a local. You was a local celebrity in Rochester. Okay. So you was already popping before you came to Atlanta, basically.
I mean, I was known in Rochester. Yes, I think people
Yeah.
realize they recognize me because I still had some social media presence. Very outspoken. I always set my thoughts, and people just kind of knew me from around the city. So yes, there was that familiarity there.
So when you say there's a bunch of yous aesthetically, did you know
Mhm.
this coming to Atlanta, or did you just
Um,
find out when you got there?
I did know that just because I watched a lot of stuff on YouTube. I hear how people talked about Atlanta, but I think
Right.
I underestimated how the men are. I didn't think it was gonna be as bad as some of the things that I experienced when I moved out here.
So is it really like, because I've been to Atlanta and I think we talked about it off camera. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the areas there, and understand what you're talking about when you walk into a Walmart, or you just walk into a Kroger or a gas station. You know what I'm saying? It's not to demean you, but I'm just saying what you're saying is basically what it is. But I guess having that well put together, as you say, the mindset, anybody can look like $1 million at the end of the day, in my
Mhm.
opinion. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
can look like $1 million, but when you start talking to people, that's when you find out if they're cerebral or if they just,
Yes.
are brain dead and things
Yes.
like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
so this when this rude awakening, I guess. Now I wouldn't even call it a rude awakening. When dating these guys, when your dating experience in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
did you feel like they just wanted you to just chase with most of the men? Were you feeling like you were in that position where you had to chase
Um,
them?
I don't chase. So I'll definitely show interest. So I'm not going to chase. But I realize that if you don't chase per se, they'll dip off real quick. Back home, it's like, I'm not chasing you. And they'll be like, okay, well, I'll chase you then. Like they kind of knew to do that. But here it's like, okay, well, you don't want to chase me or show the attention that these other women are doing. Then, okay, that's fine. It's like nothing to them.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. So would you say that whole 17, because we're here and I know Kevin talked about it. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
don't live there. I've only like visited here and there. It's an hour flight from where I live. Is that 17 to 1? Is that pretty accurate for somebody that lives there like yourself? Or is that
Um,
exaggerated?
it might be a little inflated, but I see now that for one, you got to take out the LGBTQIA plus population. So
And
anyone who
yeah,
falls within that,
let's just keep it
uh,
heterosexual. We just talk about
okay,
heterosexual. Let's just
heterosexual,
keep it.
cool. Well, that helps with that. I mean,
Yeah.
that plays a part in the ratio. So if we're talking about the remaining men who are left over, yeah, I can see
Mhm.
that. And then if it's a certain caliber of man, so if it's a man who makes a lot of money, he has a certain status or presence, then it's even more competition because that's the man everybody is going for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fellas, y'all heard her. And this is a beautiful woman living in Atlanta telling y'all this right
Mm-hmm.
now. This isn't just some dude who's just saying, hey, this is what it is. We're talking about heterosexual just from someone that actually lives there. So wow. So what is, for the guys that's listening in, what is your and I'm just gonna go down the line. This is you're not running anybody off.
Uh-huh.
I just want to hear from Tynisha's mouth. What is
Okay.
your preference in like what do you prefer in a man? Let's just say aesthetically.
Aesthetically. Well, I do like taller men, but it's because I'm tall. I'm 5'8". So I would prefer for someone to be taller than me if I'm wearing heels. So that's something that is kind of a big thing for me. Other than
Okay.
that, I don't have skin tone preferences or anything like that. I love nice smiles. So that's something that stands out to me as well. Someone who's clean cut, knows how to dress.
Right.
I'd prefer someone who works out just because that's a part of my lifestyle, is a big part of my life. So someone who's active is great too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think that aesthetically, at least, those are the key things.
Got you.
Mhm.
So he can't be shorter than you.
I've tried to date people shorter than me, and I feel like it was kind of forced. The attraction wasn't quite there as I would like it to be.
It was forced.
Yes.
How short have you gone?
I have dated someone who was probably like 5'5", maybe. So I went a few inches shorter than what I am.
Okay. And was this in Atlanta?
Both. So in Atlanta and then also back home too.
Okay. So no particular skin tone, color, race, or anything like that. You prefer he work out or
Hmm.
be physically fit somewhat and be taller than you. So
Yes.
that how about age wise?
Um, I don't want anyone younger than me. I have learned that the hard way. I just find that men mature a bit slower than women do. So trying to date
Okay.
someone who's younger than me, that has been a struggle. Age limit, I'm not sure. Even though my experiences with dating older men, it wasn't very pleasant. So I'm
Why is
a
that?
little bit cautious with that. They rush everything. It can be like week 2 and they're talking about kids, which you can say you want kids. So let's make that very clear. Because I say I want kids and I want marriage. I'm very intentional about that. But if you're talking
Yeah.
about procreating with me and I've known you for a week, that's kind of like a red flag. You're
Right.
speeding things too much. We got to build a foundation first.
So older guys. So are these guys that don't have kids typically? And I'm not saying the amount of older dudes you dated. I'm just saying from your
Mhm.
experience, are these generally men who don't have kids, or these are men who already have kids?
That's a good question. That type of energy in terms of rushing kids comes from men, I would say, who don't have kids. The men who do have kids, they're kind of like, a lot of them might be like, I'm done. I don't really care about having another kid. If you want one, that's cool. But the ones who don't, they definitely do push it.
Got it. So rushing and that, rushing in terms of getting you in a relationship is what I'm getting at with older guys. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess that's fair to say.
So younger dudes are just chill, laid back, and they don't really
No.
care about that stuff. Is that
immature in many things, the way that they handle communication, the way they handle conflict, struggling with expressing themselves without going off the handles, like that type of thing happens with younger men. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of emotional guys.
They lack emotional intelligence, because I don't think emotional is a bad thing. I think that everyone has emotions, and I appreciate men who express them, but the emotional intelligence isn't quite there. Not knowing how to read the other person, knowing when it's appropriate to say certain things, knowing how to handle certain situations, that part is lacking.
So nobody younger than 29. How old are you willing to, as far as dating? What's like, is there an age cap out there?
A cap or like a minimum? Which one are you asking?
Like a well, both. Is there a minimum and is there a cap? Let me hear both of them.
If he was mature, I would probably date someone who's a few years younger than me. Like if he really had a really good mindset, that wouldn't bother me. I don't think I could go any younger than 26 though. Yeah, no. I have like nephews who are that age, so that's kind of weird. You bringing somebody home who's the same age as your nephew or younger siblings or things like that. That's just so that's my minimum. Cat, I don't know, because I've seen some really fine salt and pepper men, and I like that. So I'm all for the older gentleman.
Got you. So would you go? So let's say a buddy come up to you and he in his 60s, and he's got a cold mouthpiece. You give him the time of day?
Is he attractive? He's like, he keeps up with his physique, his appearance.
He meets everything you said so far, because we haven't gotten into more stuff. He meets everything that we talk about aesthetically. And he's a good 60.
If I think he's attractive, then I wouldn't care.
Say less. Hey, old heads, y'all. Hey, y'all hear what time it is? Hey, she says 60. I don't want to go to. I would push it and ask 70, because but if we want to go up to 70, you know what I'm saying? I
don't know. At that age, I feel like things start getting wrinkled. Certain body parts. I can't do that.
My pops was 64 when I was born.
So wow.
I'm just saying. Okay. My mom was about your age. My mom was 30 going on 31. So yeah, he was a good 31, 32 years older than her. You know what I'm saying? But I can dig it. So hey, old heads, y'all got a chance. Shout out. So as young as 26, a couple years younger. So you said, so are you I meant to ask you this since you mentioned that. Are you you're not an only child? How many siblings do you have?
I have 7 siblings. Definitely not an only child.
Okay. Are you the youngest?
Yeah. Do I give off energy that I'm the youngest?
No, I just figured if you had if you had a nephew or a niece or nephew your age, I would assume you would be the youngest. You know what I'm saying? Just asking. Okay. Got you. Okay. Real quick though, before I get into the rest of this. Guys, you're tuning into the Cuff and Reason show. Hit that like button. We got 39 likes. It should be at 50 at least. So mods, I don't know where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? Before I start reading some of these comments here, hit that like button. It should be 50 likes. It's easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's easy like Sunday morning and shoplifting. So just hit that like button, man. It doesn't hurt anybody. So you're willing to go as high as 70, as long as you don't got wrinkles.
60.
Okay.
You added it 70.
But you said you was like, hey, they might have wrinkles at 70. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, she's saying as long as they don't got wrinkles, I mean, hey, that's but fair. 60. We'll keep it at 60, fella. Just don't tell her your age if y'all over 60. You know what I'm saying? So income, I know this is a big thing in this high value age and things like that. And there's a lot of rich, not rich, but there's a lot of well-paid brothers in your city, as we know. Not to say that they aren't across the states, but Atlanta is the Black Hollywood at the end of the day. So you got a lot of paid brothers. Um, what income should a man, what bracket should he be within if he wants to, be a part of your life?
I don't have an income bracket. I never have. I think I more so look at other things. So, what is your
Mm-hmm.
debt to income ratio? How do you save? Are you investing? Do you own property? Like, those are more so the things that I look at versus just being fixated on a certain bracket.
So if he could take care of himself, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a day laborer or in fast food, you know what I'm saying? Would that work? Would that work for you? As long as he's got his own car,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a place to stay. He's self-sufficient, but he's like in that blue collar world, probably knocking down about 30-35 grand.
Oh, that's rough. In Atlanta?
Yeah.
I would
In
question
Atlanta, I'm
if
just
he's able to
saying.
fully take care of himself on that in Atlanta because it's expensive out here. So I don't think that he
Mhm.
would be able to meet the things that I'm mentioning with that income here in Atlanta.
35 grand. So that's out of the question. Got you. Say less.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So you more concerned with his debt to income, you said, and what else? What else was it? Sorry to have you repeat. Just
That's an
so the fellas can
income.
know.
If bills are paid on time, is he investing? Does he own property? That's a bonus. Things like that. So all of the other
Mhm.
things that tie into someone's financial success.
Okay. And what if he's a good guy, but he wants you to teach him that stuff?
He wants me to teach him that stuff. I would
Yeah.
say that we can definitely learn together. I'm not sure if I would date him at that point because if he doesn't
Wow.
have any of that stuff together, I think that his focus honestly needs to maybe be more on building himself. But I'll still be there. I'll be a support system to you as a
Mm.
friend. And if I see that progress is going, in a forward direction, then it might be a little bit different. But I
Yeah.
only say that just because if I'm in a space where I feel like I'm not right financially or, not chasing my dreams the way that I should be, I kind of stray away from being people as well. So I kind of expect the same in return.
Got you. So you're not gonna date unless you financially stable, and he should be the same. Is
Yes,
that what you said?
yes,
Yeah.
that's a fair
Okay.
statement.
Got you. Okay. So fellas, man, at least have some money and be on your investment game and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Ownership is a plus, but she's
Mhm.
willing to grow with you. So with that being said, also, what are some, before we get into these horror stories, what are some deal breakers for you with a guy
Mm,
that coming into your life, and I know you probably ran into some, because I can only imagine, some things, but what
mhm.
are some automatic deal breakers that you learned at the tender age of 29? They don't like when I say
uh,
they don't like hey, Tanisha, they don't like when I say 20, the tender age of 29 either. But go ahead. Continue.
what do you mean? Why do they like that? What's wrong with
Yeah,
saying
they'll be
that?
like, that's not GR, that's not tender. I'm just like, man, whatever, man. Anyway,
Okay.
you know.
That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
okay, deal breaker. A big one for me is if someone brings up sex too early or if they make sexual comments in a way that like if they're trying to approach me and they say something sexual, I immediately get turned off. Like that will make body parts
Mm,
dry up. Don't do that. Like that's not the move.
sheesh. Is that and that's on the approach? Because
Well, that's
Tanisha, we gotta
yeah.
throw, we gotta throw a little innuendo out there on the first date. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
What? And you into like what?
I mean, I have to let you know I'm sexually attracted to you. I'm not saying that I have to make a statement like I want to pull your thong to the side and do some crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I have to, at least cross that threshold. But anyway, I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But continue. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I think that I already know if you ask me out on a date, you're sexually attracted to me because at the end of the day, I know that you want sex, right? So you don't have to say that. Now, if you feel like
Fair
you had
enough.
to say it on a first date, then I'm going to question what your intentions are. It's like, I feel like the first date, good conversation, you're really just trying to fill that person out, see if it can even go to a second date. So I'm like, you're bringing up sex that soon. That's a red flag for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. Yeah, I guess what I was saying. I get what you're saying completely. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
on that type of time either. I don't think that men should be just coming straight off the bat on that. That's shout out to Alan Roger Curry. That's that mode one right there. But I don't think that you should just come out and there's a way of doing it in a roundabout way, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Not just basically
Okay.
being explicit
Yeah.
like that. But yeah,
Mhm.
basically bringing that up is a no-go. What else? What else we got?
Yep. Kids are like a sensitive topic for me because I'm realistic in the sense that I know I'm getting older, and so men are probably going to have children. So I'm okay with someone having a child. When it goes to 2,
Uh-huh.
3, 4 kids, or you got multiple baby mamas, then that's another red flag for me, because it's like, how are you procreating with people and y'all still weren't able to make it work in some kind of way? Are you learning from your decisions? Like, what's going on with that situation? So kids can be a deal breaker, but also if they're not involved in their kids' life, that's a major deal breaker for me.
Yeah. So what if he was married and he had like 6 kids?
Oh God. No. I'm
Well,
inheriting 6 kids.
Tynisha, I'm just throwing some shit. I'm just throwing some shit at you. You know what I'm saying? Just to get your opinion on it. But go ahead.
I don't know
There's
if I
no
would
wrong
like
answer,
that.
Tynisha. I'm just picking your
I don't
brain.
know. I wouldn't like that,
You-
because it's like, I'm not coming with any kids. And now if we get married one day, I'm inheriting your 6 in some way, no matter what their age is. Like, they're still a part of this family. And then if we decide to have kids, that's being added on top of that. That's a lot for someone with zero kids.
Well, if Buddy is 60, like you said though, if Buddy is
Mhm.
60, his kids might be
Mhm.
grown. Well, most likely grown. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's different. Now, if the man is older like that and you have kids who are like 30, 40 years old, for one, I'm younger than them, so I imagine that
Yeah.
would make them feel awkward. I'm not gonna have like that mother
Yeah.
dynamic
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
So that's different for sure.
Right. Okay. So talking about clapping cheeks off the rip,
Mm-hmm.
kids, too many kids
Mm-hmm.
is, an issue. What else we got?
This one might be a little controversial, but
No,
if he
no, it's not. Go ahead.
oh, okay, well, if
Go
he
ahead.
is like, if he has problematic views toward women, if he's very deep in the pits of these manosphere platforms that bash women all the time, and he says things that hint toward that, it's a no for me. We got to cut that short.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's on that type of time, I can dig it.
Yes.
He man woman haters, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what I refer to him. He man woman. Got you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So if he's on that type of time.
Yeah, those are some of the big ones. Let's see. And then I think another one for me, I usually in some way ask people about their relationships. I really don't care per se what happened to an extent, but I like to hear what people learn from their past situations. So if I'm talking to someone and it's like, she did this, and they can't take accountability for what they did, for me, that's a red flag / deal breaker, because no one's perfect. So you have to do something in your relationship too.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, these are, in my opinion, and I know there's more. These are things that dudes should be. You've been on dates where dudes be like saying this stuff to you. Obviously, I know it's a deal breaker. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you would think it's common sense. That's why I struggle, because I'm like, I don't think I'm asking for a lot. I think that's very reasonable, very fair.
Right.
I try to be understanding, but no, it's hard.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know, man. They just basically talking themselves out. But anyway, let me get off that. Goodness. All right. So we got that. What else? What else you got?
Another deal breaker. I feel like those are the top ones. I haven't encountered a whole lot aside from those. Let me think. Yeah, I think those are the top ones. Oh, no. Someone who's closed-minded. We can have different thought processes on things, but if you can't be receptive to my thoughts and respect my opinion, even if it differs from yours, it's just a sign that the person's probably going to be combative. How do we handle conflict in relationships? So anything that hints toward lack of being able to communicate, inability to compromise, because that's huge for me, accountability, those are all deal breakers.
I think that's enough, because I'm pretty sure we can go on, but I think you kept it. You kept it simple enough. I don't think that's anything too crazy or whatever. So I didn't even ask you your sign. I'm sorry, Tynisha. What's your sign for those
I am a
folks that enter our
Scorpio.
show? She's a Scorpio. November
Mm-hmm.
November
Yes.
time frame. Okay,
That's
so she's a
Scorpios,
November.
yes.
Got you. So
Mhm.
you are most compatible with. I'm not. I don't know all this stuff yet. I'm still learning it for this show. But you are most compatible with.
Child, I'm trying to figure it out too because at this point I feel like it's nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they say Taurus is one. I think Taurus, Pisces. I think maybe another Scorpio. I've actually never dated another Scorpio to know, but I feel like those might be the top ones.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
got it. So what was your experience with another Scorpio? Or you said you
I've
haven't.
never.
You said you
I
haven't.
haven't dated another one. No.
Okay. Got you. What's been your best experience then? Hey,
uh,
yeah.
we talking in what way? We're just generally speaking, me
I'm
vibing with
not
this
talking about
person's
who.
personality.
I'm just talking about the best experience. I ain't talking about, if you wanted me to say what's your best sexual experience or whatever. No, I'm
Mm.
just saying like, what's your best what's your best experience as far as sign? Like what sign have you had the best experience with overall? Vibe, whatever you want to call it.
I would probably say Taurus, maybe a Taurus.
Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that like May time frame? I think,
Yeah, May is Taurus.
Okay. So Taurus is okay. So I got you. You say I'm still trying to figure it out, which
Listen.
we gonna figure it out though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody said my mom is a Scorpio. Okay. I just want to do a quick shout out. Hey, y'all guys, once again, we got Miss Tynisha here tonight. You guys hit that like button, hit that share button. She's giving us an inside look of a beautiful woman living in Atlanta and some tomfoolery that's been going on. So y'all hit that like button, man. Tynisha is talking. This is Tynisha Talk. She's talking right now. So y'all hit that like button. I want to give a shout out to insurance agent. I appreciate the super chat. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep them likes coming. Mods, where we at with the likes? We should be at. We need to get this up to 100. Y'all need to be spamming that like button. But anyway, let's get back to it. So, what has been? So you had? Is it mostly been like horror stories in Atlanta, or what's going on? Have you had? Is it like just terrible? Is it Sodom and Gomorrah? I mean, is it like a mixed bag? You had like good experiences too. How's it been like overall? If you were to rate it,
I would say mostly bad.
damn.
I struggle to find an in between. So it's either the dude says something that's like super reckless and it's like really like you had to make the date that bad, or you might find someone who is nice per se, but I don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
the attraction is always there. Like we just don't vibe quite well.
When you say attraction, you mean the vibe just doesn't turn out right, or you just well, you go out on
Uh
do you go out on dates with people you're not attracted to physically? Do you do that?
I have. I'm learning to not do that because I'm a
What?
person who believes that attraction doesn't grow over time for me. Other people feel like it can. I think that from the moment that I meet someone, I know if I'm attracted to you. If I'm not attracted to you physically, it's not going to grow. But I have taken advice from people who said, maybe don't take that outlook. That could be a little superficial. So I've tried and it doesn't work. I feel like it's very forced when I try to go on dates with people I'm not attracted to.
Have you gone on multiple dates with people you're not attracted to? When I say multiple with the same
Uh,
person. Yeah.
I have done that before, yes.
Why, Tynisha? Why?
Because I wanted to see if it would grow over time. And I know it's probably not a good thing to do because they would be really, really nice people, like very cool people. But I realized that people like that, I probably need to have them as friends. But I still try because, I don't want to be in a situation where it's like, well, you only pick the bad guys because they look good. So I really do try, but it doesn't work out in most cases.
Do you believe men and women can be friends?
Yeah,
You do?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think so? You don't seem like
Hell
you're
nah.
buying it.
Hell
What?
nah. No.
Why
Negative. Not
not?
at all. So here's the thing, right? Do you think that these ugly dudes, I'm not gonna say, let
Mhm,
me stop. These men that you weren't attracted to,
mhm.
do you think that they would have been cool being friends with you?
I don't think it would have been their top choice, but I think they would learn to accept it. But I do think that they would have been friends with some distance. I don't think that we could be like very close friends. It would just kind of be more of a cordial, hey, checking in, how are you? More of like an associate type of thing.
They would have learned to accept it, Tanisha.
Yeah. I've had that happen before.
And you think that he was being you don't think that's disingenuous?
How? Oh, you mean on his side of things?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I would say, and I've had one situation like this where the person, they liked me for a while and it wasn't going there at all, but we really were good friends. And so over time we became friends, and then I would meet the people he dated and we had like that type of friendship. Now, do I think that if I ever decided one day to be like, I think I want to pursue this romantically, would he be open to it? Probably. But we remained friends because I
Ain't
wasn't
no
interested
probably,
in that
Tanisha.
way. Well,
Ain't no
absolutely.
probably.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. And I think I would like to ask, because I hear this and I think some women know this. Do
Okay.
you think that men that are not as attractive treat, and beauty's in the eye of the beholder, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we can generalize people a lot of times who society views as beautiful, right?
Okay.
Do you think that men or women that date men that are unattractive, sometimes they date those men, or they feel like those men treat them a whole lot better just because they are attractive?
Because
Do
they're
you think that?
okay, let me try to
So, like,
understand
if I'm an unattractive man, if I'm an unattractive man, anyway, I'm an
it. Mm-hmm.
unattractive man. I'm dating you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put you up on a pedestal. I understand that you're attractive, and I feel like myself, I'm unattractive. You feel like I'm unattractive. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna put you on a pedestal and put up with a lot more of your shit than a dude who has options or is deemed attractive. Do you think that that's accurate, or what's your thoughts on that? If that
Yeah,
makes
of
sense, what
course.
I just said.
I think it's twofold. So yes, I mean, I think that men are often how can I say this? I don't want to say judged because that sounds negative, but judged by the women that they date. Therefore, if you're like a uglier dude, but you got a bad woman, Beyonce and Jay-Z, I'm
Right.
gonna just use them as an example. Everybody's like, damn, how did he pull Beyonce? Like, he must be great in some other ways. Like, you seem like
Right.
you're more powerful. But I also think that in general, unattractive men, uh, they're nicer because they have to be, because they don't have their looks to fall back on.
That's what I was saying. So from your
Yeah.
experience, you have noticed that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got you. That's all I was what I was trying. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to confirm it, which I was, but that's what I've heard. I've heard that dudes,
Yeah.
and women do deal because they treat you like a princess. Not to say that you would talk to them any kind of way, but he'll put
Mm-hmm.
up with a lot more ish, even taking on, if you're asking questions that I already answered, you can super chat them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Those of you asking questions in the super chat, I'm not repeating anything. But yeah, I've heard stuff like that you're just willing to, like, I asked the guy on the show here before, like, he would deal with a woman that has 6 kids as long as she was bad. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So not, just because she's gorgeous, and he may not feel like he's the most attractive, he'll put the kids through school and everything just for that. So that's
Yeah.
why I was asking. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, sheesh.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness,
I've been
it's
on a date
cold.
with someone before who said he was a sapiosexual, so attracted to intellect, right? Very,
I was
very
gonna ask
like
you
that
that too.
connection. Yes. But then I asked him, I said, okay, so would you date a woman then who was very dense, like just no sort of mental anything if she was attractive? And he said, yeah. And I'm just like, well, how does that make sense? Like, you admire intellect, but if a woman looks good but has nothing else to offer, they would still be okay with that.
I don't. Maybe he might not have known what it meant at the end of the
No,
day. He probably thought
no,
it
I think he
sounded
knew
good
what
to
it
you.
meant. Maybe he was trying to tell me what I wanted to hear. Yes.
Got you. So I take it that looks plays a. You're not exactly a sapiosexual, I'm assuming, because looks do play a part because you tried it or whatever. Even though he was a nice guy, they were a nice guy, right?
I am a sapiosexual. Hold on, wait a second. I'm attracted to
Okay.
intellect, But
Go ahead.
that isn't to say that if someone was butt ugly, in my opinion, I would date them just because they have intellect. That also doesn't mean that because someone is super attractive that I would date them as well. If someone was really attractive but dense mentally, I would not date them.
Gotcha. I remember the first time I heard that, it was my ex-wife, and she had just went into the streets or whatever, and she told me that she was all of a sudden she got into women and said she was sapiosexual. And I was like,
Oh,
okay, do your thing, baby. You sapiosexual now? I feel you. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
But
Okay.
you're she's sapiosexual. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
cerebral, you know what I'm saying? Even though I take it that you can't be butt ugly, but she'll work with you guys as long as you got a mind. So are you do you believe in with this whole sapiosexual thing as well, the whole mind concept and being cerebral? Are you on that? Are you kind of like into the spirituality of like, do you believe in soulmate, soul ties, and all those things like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. These have you encountered your soulmate yet?
I think we have multiple
Or a
soulmates.
soulmate? Excuse me.
Yes,
A
yes,
soulmate. I said that wrong. Excuse me.
yes.
Which a
I
soulmate
have.
is just a soul friend. Okay, you have.
Yeah.
Got it. What about a twin flame?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So more of like a karmic type of energy, dating wise, because like you said, you have soul friends per se. But I have
Right.
definitely encountered karmic type of energy too. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. So hey, he might be tuned in right now, as a matter of fact. You know what I'm
He
saying?
might be,
The
child.
universe acting. You know what I'm saying? So so with these guys who were treating you in this way, what's
Mhm.
been, other than what you named, what's been like the craziest dating situation you've been on out there in Atlanta that you can just think of off top? Like, what's been the craziest situation that you've had?
There's a couple. So I would say that one is where a guy showed me his STD results on the first dates, and asked me if he could hit it raw. That was probably
Already.
like that was the bottom of the pits. The bar was set in hell with that. Um, I've also tried dating
This
an
was the
older
first date?
guy. That was first date, first time, and it was my mistake
Okay,
because it was my first time actually meeting him in person. So that taught me a lesson about vetting people a bit more than what I
hmm,
did. But I had just moved to Atlanta. I was trying to connect with people. I thought it'd be fun to go on a date, and so I went. And so yeah, that's what
cool,
happened. Yeah.
got you. Okay, so he
Um,
showed you the STD and wanted to smash on the first date. Okay, this is
he
good.
did.
Continue.
His is good. Continue.
Okay, he did
I had
smash.
another. He, no, absolutely not. What the hell? You don't think? First of all, if
No,
a
you
woman
said he
pulled out,
did. So I was just
no. If a woman showed you her STD results on the first date, you wouldn't question her. Like, why did you feel like you had to show me that? I would think something. You have something, because why did you go to that extent to do? I didn't ask you for that at all. That's weird.
very weird. Yeah, very weird. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, the
Not
old
feeling it
head.
either.
So you,
The old
yeah, so,
guy.
so you went with the old head.
I
Yeah,
did. I tried, and he was really like a dad for real. Like he had a little bit of a belly. I didn't know this at first. I didn't notice it the first time I see him, but he had a belly. He was balding, so he had like his little cap covering his head. And I don't know how this came up in the conversation, but we started talking about birth control. I honestly can't even tell you how this came up. And he was asking my thoughts on it, and I was just like, I'm not personally a fan of it. I think it does weird things to your body. And he was like, so
hmm,
if me and you and I were dating, like that means that I can't hit it raw. And I was like, I mean, so are we trying to have kids at that point? Because if not, then no, you're not doing that. And then he goes, so this is the first date, by the way. And he's like, so if you mean to
yeah.
tell me if I took you on a trip to Mexico, I wouldn't be able to pull up your skirt and bend you over with no condom on? And
Who
I'm just
talks like
like,
this?
men in
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Atlanta, apparently. I'm just like,
Yeah.
sir, ew. Like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. What was your real response though, Tynisha? Let me hear your real response. What did you say?
So I turned my head when I'm confused. And I was like, did you really just ask me that? And then he was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm serious. And it just kind of went downhill from there. It was just very bad.
How old was this old head?
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say that
You
he
had to
was
guess.
close to 60, like 50s, maybe. I'll say 50s. Mm-hmm.
So he was 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and he already offering trips to Mexico and all these good things. Okay, and
Barely.
I don't know how did you meet? And I'm just asking out of curiosity. How did you meet this guy?
I'm about to get judged for this. So I went out one time with one of my
No,
friends,
you're
and
not.
we were at like a restaurant, and he was sitting next to us at the bar area. And so I think he must have been overhearing our conversation, and he kind of jumped into it. So that's how we exchanged contact information. And one day I was bored in Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie, I was bored. I'm like, I feel like I want to go somewhere today. And so I hadn't really been talking to
Mm-hmm.
him since I got his number, but I hit him up. Like we talked for a little bit, and then he took me out on a date.
So you went on a foodie date.
I did.
Damn.
I did do
But
that.
so
Yes.
so it wasn't like you just needed to go out with somebody that day because you were bored. It wasn't
I
like
was
because I know you
bored, and
said
yeah,
go ahead.
I was
And
bored, and
what?
I
Go
was
ahead.
new in Atlanta. So this was all when I was new in Atlanta. So again, just trying to get out, go places, meet people. It kind of led to that.
And you said you didn't notice the Dunlap at the restaurant.
No, because he had, you know how they not what do you call them? The freaking hats, not a Kango
Had a
hat,
girdle?
huh?
You had on a girdle? What's up? What's happening?
No, he had about a girdle. I was talking about his hat. So his hat, he had his hair covered up. His stomach, I think he had a jacket on. This was also pre-COVID, so it is possible that he gained a lot of weight during COVID too, because that did happen to a lot of people. But
Damn.
I
So how
didn't
long
see
did you
it.
wait to go? How long did you have his number? Like how long was this?
I probably had his number for like 6 months.
6 months. See,
Yeah.
fellas, you never know. And I'm gonna just stop right there, Tynisha. Fellas, you never know. And dude kept it cordial. He didn't blow up her phone and none of that. And
Mm-hmm.
he got a call, but he just didn't play it. And I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
he could have done anything. But
Mm-hmm.
fellas, he didn't play his cards right. He said some bullshit
Mm-hmm.
on the first date, and he just fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. Just keep it cordial. And he got a call from a much younger woman on just a random day. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because she was bored. So you keep it funky. I mean, and anyway, you just don't do what he did. But anyway, I'm sorry. What?
But yeah, I think in general that's good advice. Keep it cordial with anything. If you keep it cordial, especially when it comes to sex, women are gonna appreciate that so much more because they're gonna be like, "Wait, why is he not trying to have sex with me?" Now we
Right.
become the people who want to pursue because it's like, you don't think I'm attractive? I know it sounds weird, but this is how women think.
Mm. I'm making that into a t-shirt, by the way. Those t-shirts coming soon, guys. Keep it cordial. You know what I'm saying? So I know. Give me a third one, Tanisha. I know you got one more. Let me. 'Cause-
Haven't had another bad date. Not really. I mean, this one wasn't as bad as the others, but I did experience one where I can tell like the guy didn't have money like that. And
Mhm.
so it was kind of like a situation where you could tell he didn't want, you know, how people, you could tell, you look at someone, they look at the bill and it's like, oh shit, it's kind of high. Like, I don't know if I want to pay that, like that type of energy. So when I
Mhm.
see stuff like that, like I'll step in and I'll pay. So I did that. So that one wasn't as bad, but it was awkward in some ways. Yes.
So you paid for it, or you paid some?
Oh, I pay for myself. I'm not paying for the whole date now. Like we go 50-50. But if you ask me out, like I expect that you would pay. But in that situation, I paid for myself.
So he asked you out, and he was cool with you paying for yourself.
Yeah, he was cool with me paying for myself, and that was the last time that we went out on a date.
Got you. Did
Hmm.
he pick the place, or you did?
He picked the place.
And he couldn't pay. Damn, that's
So
cold.
how does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
I purposely let men pick the place because when women say I don't know what I want to eat, usually we're saying that because we want you to decide based on your income level. So I allowed him to do that, and he still didn't do it right.
I mean, I think you should do it anyway if you're asking somebody out. You shouldn't be like, I want
Yeah.
to ask you out. Where do you want to go at? Yeah, we're not in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna take you out, and if I'm gonna take you out, I'm just gonna be like, and then I mean, was the energy off on the date where he just felt like, did he see it wasn't going anywhere? That's why he elected to let you pay?
No, I wouldn't can say that. Like, we had a chill day, and honestly, like, I'm pretty good at playing things off. So it was a good date. We had good conversation. He still tried to stay in touch afterward, but I was turned off from that. So we kept it cute for the rest of the date, but that was it.
So you was turned off by him letting you pay.
Yeah, because it's like, why wouldn't you could have picked something in the park for us to do? You could have done anything else that was thoughtful, a museum, anything, but that just wasn't a good look.
Yeah. No, I can dig it. I agree with that. And I know a lot of dudes don't. And I know I think you did a video talking about that. So your thoughts, just to be clear, for any of y'all, any of you gentlemen listening right now, your thoughts, and I think you just covered it, but I just want to confirm. If a guy, if we're going on a date, if I ask you on a date, you would expect me to pay for everything. I don't have a problem, me personally, but I'm just asking your opinion.
Yes, pay and plan. I think more highly of men who have planned everything out. Doesn't matter how much it costs.
Right.
You could have spent $20 on this date, but if I see that you put in time to research things, like the planning is really what locks me in.
Facts. I agree 100%. I firmly believe that what you just said, you should have it planned. If I'm going to ask a woman out, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I get some dudes have a problem with, I don't believe in financing a woman's like looks. Okay, I had to get my eyelashes, I had to get my hair done, I had to do all this to get ready for you. So therefore, you should have to pay for that. No. I'm gonna arrange the date. I'm gonna be like, okay, we're going here or whatever. Whether you want to meet me there or not, obviously, is preferably you're gonna meet me there or whatever. You know, if it's our first date, and I'm gonna pay for it, and that's not gonna be an issue because at the end of the day, it's your time. It's my time too, but I'm asking you. Just like if you were to ask me out on a date, I don't expect, okay, well, when the check comes up, they're kind of pushing it my way. Nah, you ask me.
Put a little elbow. Nah, I think it's on your side.
That would be weird. I don't care if you're a woman or not. If you asking me to go somewhere and then you want me to pay, like, nah, that's dusty in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad, and I don't care who says it. A lot of guys disagree and all these things like that. They think that a date is an exchange for sex. And that, in my opinion, that's somebody who doesn't have game or doesn't know how to talk to women. When it comes to a date being an exchange for sex, you know what I'm saying?
Interesting. But a lot of it, so I'm curious to know your thoughts then. So like how many dates go by then where your thought process starts to change? Where it's like, okay, I've been paying for a lot of dates now. Now I'm expecting to have sex.
Well, actually, I was going to ask your ass that, but anyway, what's my thought process? So it's not going to be any more than 2 dates.
Really? Okay.
Facts. I firmly believe in that 3-date rule, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't be going on multiple dates if you're not trying to get, if you're not trying to get down. Just me personally, you can call me a dog or whatever, but if you're not, obviously you went on dates with ugly dudes. When I say ugly, I mean in your opinion. I'm not talking about my opinion. But you're going on dates multiple times, which I don't believe women should do that. I think most of us men, we believe the same thing, that you shouldn't be going on dates with dudes that you're not attracted to, or that you wouldn't, unless you're a holy roller, right? If you're a holy roller, you need to make that known up front. Yeah. Hey, I'm a holy roller. Nothing's happening until you put a ring on it. And then I can make a decision from there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of like say, it has to be me personally. It has to be some kind of innuendo in a roundabout way on that first date, because you can be on a date with a woman and she not even know you be sexually, because this happened to me. That's why I'm saying that. She may not think that you're sexually attracted to her, because women do. And I get what you're saying. You're like, well, if you ask me out, obviously that means that you're sexually attracted to me.
Yeah.
Some women have said, well, when you get on a date, I don't even know if this guy is sexually attracted to me or not, or whatever. Maybe maybe he's not into me on this date, so on and so forth. So that's why I feel like it's important for a man not to be on no sleazy shit like that dude, that old head did, or on that type. But I'm just like, yo, at least let it be, compliment her or say something like that, but don't make, you got to be suave about it. Just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it. But anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Tynisha? Because that's what I was going to ask you.
This is hard because
It's
when I
not
made
hard.
that video, it is because I see both sides. So I see the side of women where it's like, this is my body. I feel like my vagina is more valuable than you paying for a date. But then I also get men who are saying, okay, you're providing your time. I'm also providing my time, but I'm
Right.
also giving my money. What are you giving? So I see both sides. I feel like the easiest compromise in that regard is to either do cheaper dates or you could do free dates. I know a lot of women don't like that though. Like I've gotten pushback from women on that, but I feel like that would be the compromise. Either that or I don't know. I can kind of see, I won't say I
Yeah, what's
agree
on your
with
mind?
doing 50-50, with doing 50-50 until you're ready.
Doing 50-50 until you're ready. And that's if both agree on that.
If both agree, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually talked to women who say that they prefer to pay for themselves because they don't want to feel pressure to have sex with the guy. So some women rather that. So that way it's like you don't have any expectations because you treated me. So I think it goes both ways.
My thing is, I wouldn't want to have sex with a woman that feels like she's pressured, though. I don't see why any man would. That's to me, that's a turnoff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I don't see how you
Mm-hmm.
could like be intimate. When I say intimate, you know what I mean. I don't want to say
Mm-hmm.
well, intimate means this year. I don't, I don't want to be intimate with a woman that feels like she's being forced. I'd rather walk away. That's just me personally. But I'm talking about so in your opinion, there's which most women feel the same way. There's not a set amount of dates
No.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Not a set amount of dates, which I can dig why women would feel that way. But I just like to me, I've already stated that. So that's understandable. I'm not pressing on that issue. I get it. You rather go 50-50. You said women say that they'd rather go 50-50 than avoid the pressure. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like
Yeah.
it's organic. All that, like, I think intimacy is organic, though. Don't you think?
I think it is organic, but I think that for the reason that you just said, where you have that 2 date idea in your head, you guys have to talk about what your expectations are with sex in advance. Because if I know a guy is like, all right, after 2 dates, I feel like you should know if you want to have sex with me, and I'm probably expecting it by the third date. If I know that I don't feel that way, I'm gonna let you go up front. I can like you, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna want to have sex with you on the third date.
Yeah.
Like, why I don't have sex with everybody who I like. Like, you got to see if this is someone who you actually want to pursue in that way, especially in Atlanta. Oh, please. You can't be doing that with everybody.
What do you mean?
The STD rates here are extremely high. You
Yeah.
got to protect yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. I think that men use innuendo too when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it
Mm.
has. I mean, we can say, well, we're direct, so on and so forth, but we're grown. We know what certain things mean. What are you doing? Hey, would you like to join me for a libation? That's what I said earlier. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what are you doing? I mean, not just saying what you about to do or what we doing, da, 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 da. Like, I mean, it has to be natural. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you later. Stay up.
Wait a second. Are you saying that? So the libation comment, that would be a sign that someone is looking for sex? Like,
You
what
come
is the
in. So,
innuendo that
so
men use?
I don't know what other dudes do, but I
Mm-hmm.
I, I I heard dudes you use women tell me corny lines that in my opinion is corny.
Mm-hmm.
That dudes have said, and I'm like, damn, y'all dudes be getting away with saying corny stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I invite you to my place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what that means. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's that stupid, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be offensive to you or any other woman watching it. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you're that slow to not know if we hung out and I'm like, yo, come through. You know what I'm saying? And the candles and incense is burning, and everything is smooth. The couch is laid out. The ambiance is set, and we pour up a glass and we enjoying each other's company, vibing and talking. I think that it's not gonna be like, well, let me get up out of here, or I'm gonna show up, but I don't know what the hell's going on. Or I'm gonna
Oh,
show up.
okay.
I just thought we was gonna watch Batman tonight on HBO Max. I
Mm.
mean, no. I mean, wouldn't you agree, or am I out of
I think I've made that mistake before. I have had situations where someone has invited me over. It wasn't late, so it wasn't like any late hours. But when I got there, like you mentioned, the candles and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's what I was thinking. It wasn't that. So now I know not to put myself in certain settings. Just like I probably wouldn't go over a guy's house late at night, spend the night, and like not expect that he is expecting sex. So you're right. I think you should just kind of avoid situations like that if you
How long ago
don't want to
was
cross
this?
gray
How
areas.
long? How long ago was this, Tynisha?
Where
That you went over to
the
this
guy
gentleman?
invited me into his house.
Yeah, and you went and you didn't know what was going on. You were just
Probably
cool.
about a year ago. But what I will say is like, so we had like gone to give you a full story. We went somewhere, like we were going to the movies or something, and he drove. I left my
Don't
car
ever
at
take
his
a woman
house.
to the movies, but go ahead. Unless you're in
So
a relationship, don't ever take a woman to the movies.
wait,
But
why not? What do you mean?
what kind of vibe is it at the movies? Like I can't talk. I can't see you.
It's true.
We can't have a conversation. We're looking at other people. That's people
That's true.
watching.
Okay.
I'm engaging with you. Why would we go to the movies? You know what I'm saying? In my
Mm,
opinion, you know what I'm saying? You
okay.
know, if we're in a relationship, that's different. You
Okay.
know, but same thing why you don't go on dates in the middle of the day, right?
Why don't you
Um,
go on dates in the middle of the day? Put me on game. I'm like, am I making all these mistakes? Like, what's wrong with middle of the day date? So no brunch
nah,
dates.
you're not making a mistake. The man is.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, you can go on like women are perfectly fine. You want to go on dates at night after hours. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that nothing can't go down in the middle of the day, but you know what I'm saying? Like you want to, comfortable or whatever. We know there's smash hours, as you said. If you come into somebody's house at a certain
Mm.
hour, you know what I'm saying? It's not to watch Batman on HBO Max. And then you just get up after the movie and go home. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. So you said this happened a year ago, which I can understand. You probably were like, "Well, I didn't know," or whatever, so on and so forth. But
Mm.
it's not that. At the same time, I'm not going to force myself on you. Any man that really knows, and I don't want to say knows what he's doing, he's going to basically, it's that push and pull. It's that what do you call it? Well, I'm about to say accelerate and decelerate. Y'all know I can't even think of the term. You push. Okay, all right. Did I back off? All right. Did you go again? No. Okay, back off. All right. Say no more. That's it. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Okay. So this conversation's over, and I think I guess this isn't the place for you right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a matter of it's not a matter of forcing somebody, but it's just like, okay, it's not there right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
I got to get some rest. You do too. So, you have a
Yeah.
good night, and I'm gonna have a good night, and we're gonna keep it funky. And I'll talk to you when I talk to you. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So, just why you say you say that?
No, 'cause now the wheels started in my head. I'm like, so put me okay from a male's perspective. Then, so if
Okay.
a guy is saying like, because a lot of women get invited, like a guy wants to cook dinner for them, for example,
Hmm.
you're saying like, no go, do not do that if you are not prepared to have sex with the guy.
Facts, facts.
Okay.
Unless
Okay.
he's not heterosexual. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Unless he's incapable of getting an erection. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get an erection, then I wouldn't advise it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just my opinion. These are things. See, this is where I'm kind of confused too, Tanisha, with this, because a lot of these things I assume that women knew, just like women assume that men know things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at a certain point, like you're like, okay, he's offering to cook dinner for me. Like, okay, we're gonna talk. This isn't your girlfriend, all
Mm-hmm.
right? And you shouldn't look at him like your girlfriend. Why am I
Right.
talking? I'm supposed to be interviewed. We talking about all this. Yeah,
Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
yeah. No. I'm sitting here telling she's talking about put me up on game, which I guess I'm kind of the fellas are listening to. So I hope everybody. This is my opinion, though. This is Jr's
Yeah.
opinion, and
Yeah.
maybe I may be astray or I may be misled in my thinking. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And if I am, then that's just me. But I feel like I don't feel like I should be wasting my time with a woman that's not attracted to me. You know what I'm saying? Or if she's not, it's not that, and I'm not going to force you because I don't believe in forcing anybody to do anything they don't want to do because to me it's a turn off. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
into me, I'm turned off. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say that, I mean like I don't believe in cat calling a woman or hounding a woman or
Yeah.
anything like that. And she just if you're not into me and you're not, basically enthralled, when I say enthralled, I mean like you're like tenacious and just all into ready to jump on me or whatever in a roundabout way, or doing those feminine things you ladies do when you're, attracted to a guy. then
Yeah.
I just don't. Why are we spending time together? Because I'm a nice guy.
That's
You
true.
know,
I agree
it's
with
cool.
that. But I
Continue.
think
Yeah.
you guys make the mistake, men make the mistake of assuming that because a woman isn't, this is what, hold on, let me put my
Yeah. Let
notes
me
down
hear
because I
this.
got to understand this.
Let me
Y'all
hear this.
make the mistake of thinking that just because a woman is not ready to have sex with you at the time that you want to, it means that she's not attracted to you. Because that's not really the case. Like maybe she's just not ready. And also, I think that you guys will say, well, date should or sex should happen within the first few dates. But then if you think about a woman who goes on multiple dates with people, right? So she gets approached by multiple men. You mean tell me like you expect her to have sex with all those men, and then if she had sex with all those men, then she would get judged for not being selective about who she had sex with. So what is a woman supposed to do in that situation?
Good question, because that was going to be my next question for you. You keep coming with it. It's like you're reading my mind, Tynisha. You know, because I was going to ask you your thoughts on body count, because I know you covered that as well
Yes.
in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, and dudes, I don't know why they continue to watch my channel. I don't care about if I know that you're a known, if I know that you're for the streets, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna launch an investigation or do detective work to find out how many bodies you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's none of my business at the end of the day. I don't expect a woman to sleep with every man that she comes into contact with. Just like how you say you learn to vet men better over time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's your thing. Women dating is dating. Some women prefer to only date one guy at a time. Some women date multiple men at a time. It's dating. You know what I'm saying? And any man who's saying, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to date one man," at the end of the day, if you choose to date till you get into a relationship, that's on you. If you're a serial dater, that's on you too. But body count, which I guess is what we're getting at, it's your business. I don't expect you to be held to the standard of, okay, after the second date, I must sleep with this guy. If you choose to, if the vibe is there, you do it. If not, that's cool too. I mean, the only man that's gonna call you a hoe is your boyfriend. I'm just saying, or your husband. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it. I don't. It's none of my business because at the end of the day, we must keep it cordial, Tanisha.
Yes. Keep
We
it
must keep
cordial.
we must keep it cordial until we're in a relationship. And even
Mm.
once we're in a relationship, it's your body. You know what I'm saying? As long as if you choose to do that and I'm not the person for you, I would hope you would let me know that you
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to go and do that, who am I to say, Tynisha, how could you? How could you sleep with that guy? You know,
Hmm. Do you think the same way about a woman you would marry, though? Do you feel like you need to know her background at the point of marriage?
if I know already, that's different. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even marry her if that's the case.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying? I guess people do this stuff, we hear about things, and I think I've covered a few of these topics about, this dude, this Korean neurosurgeon, and I think he was Korean neurosurgeon in New York, married Miss Ohio or something like that. But she
Mm-hmm.
was selling buns for like a year or two. And he didn't know. He found out that she was
Mm.
selling buns. She was a professional escort. You know what I'm saying? So I could kind of feel some type of way about that. You know what I'm saying? If it's brought to
Mm-hmm.
you, like, man, or if she was doing porn, you know what I'm saying? But, like this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, man, it's that those are like situations. But like in terms of just in general, this rule of thumb of three, she can't have more than three, but I can have 60, 70, 80, 100, so on and so forth. I think it's, as far as me being a man, it's hypocritical to say that.
Yes,
So,
it is.
you know, I don't really, but I think it does say a lot about people and who they give their body to and how much, how this whole pair bonding thing that people talk about, right? They talk about pair
Mm-hmm.
bonding. Can a man pair bond, but a woman can't? A man can pair bond with which I guess biologically, damn, we getting off on some other shit. Um,
Rabbit hole.
biologically, a man can impregnate a woman every day of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a woman can only get pregnant once,
Mm-hmm.
every 9 to 10 months. So biologically, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get into the pair bonding, I can slay 100 women, but she can't slay 100 men because we get into the whole scientific thing of she
Yes.
pair bonding. I'm just like, man,
Yes.
it,
There's
it, it
always
was,
science to support men being able to sleep with multiple
yeah,
women, but women cannot do the same for list whatever
yeah.
reason. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I just learned. I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 next year.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned the biggest thing that I could tell anybody is just keep it cordial. That's just me. Just keep it cordial. And I say that so many times on my channel, and I tell guys just keep it cordial and things like that. We're judging things, and we're saying things, and if you marry a prostitute or you're dating a prostitute, that's different. If you're dating a porn star, that's different. If you're
Mm-hmm.
dating someone who's a sex worker, it's different. You know what I'm saying? But if you just come across a woman you happen to fall in love with, and you're just like, well, I don't know if I don't know if I can jump the broom because she may have had 4 bodies. If she had 4 bodies, it's curtains. Nah,
Yeah.
it's just not me. So that's my thoughts on it. So but what did you say about body count in your opinion? I don't know if you ever got into that, but
No, I agree with you actually. I don't okay, so I see both sides in some ways. I don't think that it should be the determining factor, especially if someone maybe went through something in the past that made them behave that way and then now they've grown from it and things like that. I
Mhm.
think that's a little bit different. Now, I can understand some men being a little bit frustrated because it's like if you're not honest about how many people you've been with, we know that you're asking, that's a form of judgment. That's why women don't want to answer it, but they can also say, well, you had me fall for you on false pretenses. That's kind of like if a man, if you ask him if he used to cheat or something that women might care about, and
Yeah.
he's like, no, I never cheated. And then you fall for him, you find out he was a cheater. It's kind of like, okay, but you lie about your past. Like, I get that. But I think that if a woman is telling you, I don't feel comfortable with telling you my body count, you use that as your information. You either going to assume whatever number and you decide if you want to stick with her, you move forward. I don't think you have to know the number to come up with that judgment for yourself.
Has anyone ever asked you what's your body count?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How many times? Has it only been once?
It happened recently, and he was younger than me. So I think I attributed it to being a younger frame of
Right.
thinking. Some men kind of attribute it to, well, he was serious about you and he maybe wanted to marry you, and that's why he asked. It just didn't. It wasn't, no. And I
Did
said
you?
no, and that was a pain point. It bothered him that I wouldn't tell him the number.
Yeah. Wow. So, but you
Yeah.
said this has happened more than once.
Um, no. So I would say, let me think about this. Because if someone did ask me about a body count, it had to be years ago, like years, years,
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Recently, no, men, that's not something that men typically ask.
Because this becomes such a big topic, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did that with because I got married when I was 19.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I asked my because
Hello.
I asked my then wife, my ex-wife at the time, because I didn't know. Only thing I knew about women was what dudes in the neighborhood, kind of like watching them, what they did, and on TV, which is the
Mm-hmm.
worst. That's the worst way to learn, in my opinion. And this is obviously in the early 2000s. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, and I'm sitting here, and even when I was doing it, I felt kind of stupid doing it. I'm like, why am I asking her? Even at such a young age, I was like, why am I asking this woman this?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's making her uncomfortable. But I would always wonder, like, how did so when you were asked, how did they ask? I always want to hear, how do guys ask? How did he ask you?
I think he came out and just said, "What's your body count?" Like that was the verbiage that he used. And it was like it was an awkward transition because we were I'm pretty transparent. So I think we were having a conversation about something that may have been personal, but more from like maybe a family dynamic. And then I
Yeah,
think that because I was open about that, he thought he could segue into, okay, what's your body count? And it kind of
yeah,
took me aback because it's like, well, where did that come from? Like, why is this being asked?
yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man, I've never asked it other than that point, and I see no
Really?
I see no need
Mm.
to ask. Um, in my opinion, it's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't expect you. If I know you're not a virgin, I mean, it is what it is. Do you have a STD? That's more important to me.
Yes, exactly. But they
How
never
do
ask that.
yeah,
It's always body count.
how do you treat, I don't need to ask you how you treat me, okay? How do you treat me? You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like, are you a happy person? Are you a depressed person? You know what I'm saying? Are you self-sufficient? You know, are
Mhm.
you do you can you carry on a conversation? That's just me. But
Yes.
anyway, so off of that though, because I know we carrying on here. You know, I know your red is probably running low over there in that bottle. But so what can so a gentleman throughout your dating history, I know you've learned a lot about yourself as well as other people. What
Mhm.
can a man expect from you in a relationship, Tanisha?
Oh, I think accountability has one is one that's become big for me. So
Mhm.
accountability, I have definitely learned how to admit when I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I've learned to say sorry. So I think that's huge.
That's right.
I'm a big communicator. I think
Okay.
I've been told by some people. This is actually came from friends, though not men, that I over communicate. Because it's like for me, if I have an issue with something, I just want to clear it at that moment. I don't like carrying energy overnight. I don't
Mhm.
think people should go to bed mad at each other. So communication is huge for me. I'm not perfect at it, but we can try together. Ultimately, I want to be someone's peace. I don't think that you should be bringing extra drama into anyone's life, because why are you here? I think that the person that you're with, you guys help each other out in different ways. Whatever they have and I'm lacking, you kind of balance each other out in that way. So that's a huge thing for me.
Mhm.
But companionship, I think the overarching thing is companionship. If you build that foundation on friendship, which is huge for me again, I think the respect, the loyalty, honesty, communication, trust, all of that will come with it.
Hmm. So you're a communicator, which is,
Yes.
I find to be that is definitely important. So you're not one of these ladies that stonewall and basically do the silent treatment and ghosting or anything like that. You will actually sit down and communicate.
Yes, ghosting is so immature. I don't respect people who ghost. Like
Yeah.
that's a no for me. But no, I push myself to have those conversations. So I do have times where if I'm really upset about something, I might have to take a few moments to calm myself down, because I don't want to come sideways at someone and I want to collect my thoughts. But yes, we are going to talk about it.
Gotcha. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's very important because some women um who can't control their emotions, which I understand
Mm-hmm.
women are emotional beings. The
Mm-hmm.
name of Eve in Arabic is Hawa, which means
Mm,
emotion.
mm.
So it's a woman is supposed to be science, whatever. A woman is emotional. I get it, but a woman who's in control of her emotions and won't go off or belittle you in a moment
Yeah.
or say terrible things because she's angry and is willing to communicate and things like that, I think is very rare and very appreciated by
Mm,
fellas. Indeed, in my opinion. So all those things that you named off are excellent in terms of that. So you said you said you would like to have kids.
yeah. Yeah, I would love to have kids one day.
So how many kids we talking about?
Um, in my head, I'm saying two. I'm open to more
Let's
than
say
that,
two.
but I would want to. I definitely wouldn't want my child to be an only child.
Got you. Now, is
Hmm.
there a time frame you're looking at?
Yup. So, okay, this is interesting because my mom had me when she was 40. So I've noticed, like in my family, women tend to have children a little bit older, young
Okay.
too, but they still have kids when they're a little bit older. But I would say, I think by 35, I should be having at least one child. Like
Okay.
we gotta, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that
So,
would be like my spot where I want to have kids at that point.
so you'll be 30 this year. So you got about 5.5 years.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta
Yeah.
find somebody like soon, because you gotta get to know
Nah.
them first. I want to travel with them first,
Yeah.
enjoy that time, and then build a family.
You got the golden ticket. You ain't got no kids now, so I mean, it's like you're highly desired at this point. I mean, I know you might not necessarily. I'm not saying you in the wrong city, but
Mm.
as far as competition goes, but yeah, hey, the internet is a big place, but I can dig it. So
Hmm.
so two, preferably, if more, so be it. In terms
Hmm.
of that. So this big word, I always ask everybody on the show,
Okay.
what are your thoughts on submission?
My thoughts on submission are
What
that it goes both ways, for
Okay.
one.
There we go.
Man submits to his wife, woman submits to the man. But I think that we have tied submission so much into, like, I think when women hear submission, it's cooking, cleaning, domestication. You run
Slavery.
everything. You're telling me to sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
Slavery.
that I don't see it in that way. I think that we've kind of been primed to think that, which I think is a problem. But I think if you find someone who's able to lead your household, someone who you feel protected with, and all of that, then it just comes naturally, I think, for me and most women. I shouldn't say most women, and that was a lie. That wasn't accurate. No.
Repeat that. You say most women what now?
I said that if a man is a leader and the woman feels protected, then submission comes naturally for most women. And I had to retract that statement because I think that that's a lie. I think that a lot of women assume that, like, they think they can be in this state of, I don't need anyone, hyper independent, carrying masculine energy, as people would say, and they think they can turn that off. And that's not as realistic as a lot of women.
It's not a switch. Either you got it or you don't. So do you feel that way now that I'm asking? Because this is something I think is a cop out when women say that, in my opinion, personally. Wifely duties at girlfriend prices.
Yes.
I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, but you're gonna bust it open for me tonight. You know what I'm saying? Which is a wifely duty. Which is a wifely duty, if you mind. You know what I'm saying? You know. But I don't understand that. It's like, I'll do everything except, do you feel that in terms of like femininity is conditional or submission is conditional, or does it require a ring, for that to come about?
No, I think it's what you said. You either have it or you don't. Because the women who are saying that they would automatically turn it off, a lot of times those are the women where if they meet a really, really good guy, they struggle to get into that feminine energy because it could be trust issues or something else comes into play. So it's not that easy. I also think, like, for me, it's hypocritical to say, I'm not going to do this for you, but I'm okay with you paying all my bills while we're boyfriend and girlfriend. But that's a husband duty. Why would I expect that of you, and I'm not giving you something that is considered a wifely duty? Now, I think there's levels to things. So for me, I don't understand when women, like you said, will bust it open and do everything sexually. I think that there are certain sexual things that I would say for my husband. So I hold that in a higher regard than I would doing other things to show that I care, acts of service, doing just nice things for people. It's not as deep for me as it would be to bust it open, do everything for someone who isn't my husband.
So you said there's certain sexual things you would only reserve for your husband?
Yep.
I mean, damn. I mean, how many sexual things are there out there? Shit. I mean, like,
it's a lot of sexual things you can do out there now. Yeah. There's certain things I will reserve.
Certain things like what?
More risque, fetish type things, just out of the ordinary type stuff. I think those are the things that would be reserved. Or, for example, I'm not saying that I would do this because I don't think I can. If I was a woman who was into threesomes, for example, with the person that I'm dating, I'm not doing that for a boyfriend. But if I was into it, then I would do that with my husband.
Got you. Say less. So basically, he just. Yo, listen. Okay. So basically, all the S&M and BDSM, whatever, if that's even a thing.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yep.
All that stuff is reserved, but basically, all the Why am I laughing? I'm a grown ass man. I'm almost 40.
All the.
Listen.
Yep.
So all that stuff, but basically just typical, because I consider fellatio part of sex. That's just my opinion. So, that's not something that you're going to save for marriage.
Nah, I can't say I'm only doing that with my husband, though. That would be a lie. So, no.
You said you're not only doing that for your husband?
No, I'm not only doing that for my husband. That's a lie. But I think those are like when I say more risque things, I would say things like that are more lower level per se. I'm talking about far out of the ordinary things that people might not normally do. Those will be the things that you want to say for your husband to spice it up a bit.
Got you. Say less. Hey, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You can, how Drake said, we're just practicing all those. Nah, you talking about anyway. But yeah, they were practice. They were practice. Yeah. Hey, but, I mean, you'll be a pro. You'll be a pro by the time. I mean, let me quit that, man. I'm encouraging, all this foolishness, but which isn't necessary. But you can't have over 3 3 guys in your catalog. So but you're supposed to be a professional.
Exactly.
Anyway, say less. So we got that on submission. Okay, it goes both
Mhm.
ways. Some guys don't, I've had guys, come at me about that, saying I'm not submitting to no woman, but it's all
Yeah.
types of stuff you do that you're submitting to a woman.
Yes.
You claim you're gonna be a He-Man woman hater, and I'm not doing nothing. And a woman's gonna be into you. Anyway, I don't know,
Right.
man. I can't say certain things because these guys, they watch me, but they get upset. Like
I
just
gotta
now,
keep
I
it
think
real.
I was reading the guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but I was reading the
Mhm.
guy's comment, and he said something about, which is, which I don't know why you're in the chat. He said something I said to you about you not having children at 29 and you
Mhm.
wanting to have kids at 35. I can't.
Uh-huh.
I don't. It's so many comments, but it was whatever it was. It was something stupid. I know you can repeat it, bro. What you said about it, about her wanting to have a child or having a child no later than 35. But if
Mhm.
she doesn't have kids at 29, would you rather her have kids at 29? I don't know, man. You
Yeah.
guys are
I
confused,
figure
man.
when I said that, I was like, I know somebody's gonna say that because it's like some people see someone who is my age who doesn't have kids as a red flag, but I don't care about that. I would much rather be in the best space for my child. I'm not gonna
Facts.
be pressured to have a child because society's like have a kid and then the child comes out messed up, mental health
Right.
issues. Like, no, no,
And
we're
if
not
it's
doing
for
that.
your husband, whose business is it anyway?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? If you did
Yeah.
have it at 40, 45, or 50. But anyway, man,
Mm-hmm.
I just think people just want to be contentious for no reason on these things. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's just my thoughts on it. So I think you just answered my next question, which was intimacy.
Yes.
Your thoughts. Are you like, which I don't think you are, but I'm just asking anyway. Are you like the lovey-dovey type, or are you like more stoic, or are you all over a man you're in love with, or how is it,
Wait, are you
for
saying
you?
I don't seem like I'm lovey dovey? Is that what
No, no, no,
you
no, no. I
said?
said I
Oh,
can
okay.
kind of get that. I kind of get that
Okay.
from you, but I'm just asking you anyway. Are you like that? Or are you just more like stoic, and like when we meet up in the bedroom, that's that, but everything else is like, I'm strictly business or strictly
Oh
collegial.
no. No, no, no. I'm definitely intimate with my partner. Physical touch is like one of my love languages. So
And I was going to
PDA
ask you
is
that.
like huge for me. PDA, so physical touch, quality time, and then I want to say words of affirmation. Those are my top three. So yeah, I love all the lovey dovey things for sure.
So name that. What was the order again? Say it again. I'm sorry.
So they're actually almost equal, which is crazy. So gifts is like the very bottom of my list. That's not a love language for me. So it's
Thank
quality
you.
time. If I'm thinking of the order, I'm gonna say quality time, physical touch are at the top, and then after that, but not much shorter or much less, would be what did I say? Physical touch, quality time, and the words of affirmation is
Hmm.
third. Yeah.
Words of affirmation is third.
Yeah. But
Okay.
they're literally almost equal. Like
Almost
they're
equal.
very close. Yeah, neck and neck.
That's got you. Well, there you have it. I mean, so you are on that type of time where it's not
Yeah.
just when we set time at 8:30 tonight. It's whenever we're around each other. I wouldn't say 24/7, but whenever we're around each other, it's a ongoing thing, not just a appointment only. When I say appointment only, I mean because intimacy is more than sexual.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying like because some women are just like they're not really, and it goes back to childhood. This goes for men too.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to be touched or whatever, but they can be touched in the bedroom and that's it. Everything else is just
Yes.
like, what I'm saying? They don't want to be touched other than that kiss. They don't like being hugged or anything. They get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you're not like that, is what I'm getting. So, okay.
No, 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 no.
Got it. So we got it. You're 5'8", and I always ask people, so don't be offended, Tynisha. So because people were asking, you're
My
five
weight.
eight. No, I don't even
Oh,
want your weight. I'm just asking
oh,
your
okay.
measurement. But for those that are interested, you
Oh,
know,
okay. My
yeah.
measurements. Okay, so I'm probably 36,
Mm-hmm.
27 or 28,
Mm-hmm.
and the hips are probably like 40, 40.
Damn, that's not a bad damn. That's not a bad damn. To go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But we got a
Yeah.
40 here. We got a 40 here tonight, fellas. I'm not saying that. Look, yeah, say less.
A
You know what I'm
40.
saying? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that to be demeaning or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? trying to objectify you. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
she's 5'8", and y'all heard her 36, 27, 40, 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say less. So y'all can kind of derive that. Whatever. And they're probably, what's her weight, Jr. Anyway, we're gonna leave that to the imagination in terms of things like that. So, what's some of the craziest lines that you've gotten on an approach?
Um, it's usually the craziest ones are sexual. Men like feet a lot. So I get a lot of comments like that, especially if I post photos, if I'm on vacation, or if I'm showing myself like a boomerang when we walking in heels. They'll always say something about sucking on toes or putting your foot in my mouth, like things like that. So that's actually been pretty common lately with a crazy type of line.
I'm talking about face to face. You forget all this.
Oh, face to face.
Anybody can be
Okay.
bold on the internet, just like in this chat. People are bold
Yeah,
in the chat.
that's
I'm
true.
talking about face to face.
Face to face, I don't get. Let me think about this before I say it. I was gonna say I don't get a lot of craziness face to face. Like I'll drink your bath water. Somebody did say that to me once, and I was like, "You really said that?" Like, yeah. So it was kind of corny, but nothing really face to face.
So it's pretty normal.
That's normal. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess so.
it's pretty normal. I mean, other than the bath water, nobody's really come at you sideways on some stuff like that.
No, I don't know if it's the energy that I give off. Some people have told me that I can come across as intimidating in a sense where it's like, okay, I know I need to come correct because there's not that energy of playing around. So I think that might help with limiting the type of things that people say in person.
And why is that? Has anybody said that? Why do they feel like you at all? What is it? Is it because of your response? What is it?
I think that when you are a person who's like very confident within yourself and you just know what your value is and what you're not going to put up with, I believe that you give off energy and people can sense that. And so if you're like attracting men who are no good constantly and they're not valuing you as something that you're putting out. So I think the opposite, like if they see that you're radiating in a sense, that they're going to be intimidated by that if they know they don't meet up to your standards.
Okay, so you don't encounter a lot of tomfoolery in face to face.
Except for the dates I told you about. No,
Except
but in
for
terms
what?
of approaching me, except for the dates that I told you
Yeah.
about, men just coming up to me in general, no, I don't get a lot of craziness.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, that says a lot because, like I said, anybody can be, and like you said, I guess the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, and I hate to say it, but it does invite certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what women say, I shouldn't be judged. The whole Dave Chappelle joke about being dressed like a police officer and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's the society we're in.
Yeah.
So we got that. So love.
Okay.
Have you ever been in love?
I have been in love before, yes.
How many times?
I
Damn,
would
you gotta think.
say, well, okay, because you know how they have that saying where it's like you have 3 loves in your lifetime. So it's like the first one, quote unquote, like you feel like that's love for real until you experience the next level. So I would say I probably had about 2 loves per se, but one that stands out the most, where it was like, okay, that was a person who I really thought I was going to be with.
So 2.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 for sure. Okay, and was one of them your first serious relationship?
Yes.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on love? Do you think that that you can love multiple people over your lifetime? Or do you think it's just like anybody after that is just like maybe not so much? What are your thoughts on love in terms of that?
I think that you can love different people in your lifetime, but I think it's kind of like what we said before about soulmate type of energy. I think that most people have a love that stands out to them, but it doesn't always work with that person. And so if it doesn't work, I mean, if someone else comes along and they check your boxes and you still love them in a sense, that's still possible, but it might not be as deep as that one true quote unquote love that you experience.
Got you. And what have you learned from it?
To not fall in love with potential. The idea of not fall in love with the idea of love, because I think I had a big issue with that. Potential, and falling in love with love. I was a hopeless romantic for sure.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But it only happened twice.
What do you mean
Was it
only happened
potential?
twice?
You said it only happened twice, right? For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it potential both times?
I'm gonna say yes, but I think that what happens with most of the men that I have dated, and like I like them and everything, I feel like a lot of it was potential, or idealizing certain things, romanticizing the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But of those men that I've dated, there's two who I would say, yeah, actually, I love this person.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you guys, with this person that were you in love with them or did you just love them?
I would say one in love for sure. The other one, in hindsight, I would say I probably just love them.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how do you define that in your opinion? I'm not looking for it. There's no wrong answer. I'm just asking your opinion.
Good question. How do I define being in love?
Yeah.
I think that when you're in love with someone, I say this cautiously because I don't want this to come out wrong.
No, it's
It's
your
like
opinion.
you it's very selfless, right? So it's how people talk about conditional, unconditional love. I know there's debates about that. It leans more toward unconditional, where it's like no matter what, even if you guys had a really bad falling out, you guys might not be on speaking terms because you were in love with that person. There's some part of love that will still be there, even if you know it will never turn into anything. I think that if you're truly in love with someone, that it never dies. Whereas if you love someone, that tends to be more conditional, where it's like, okay, over time those feelings might fade. So those are the that's a major difference, I would say, between the two.
Mm. So one person you love, one person you were in love with. Are you still in love with that person?
Yeah, I think that you always say you're
I,
always
I
going
heard
to
you say
be
that.
in.
I was trying to trip you up. That's why I was
Yeah,
asking. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. But you feel like it's definitely possible in the future
To what?
to fall in love again with someone.
Yeah, I do. I do. And then I think that would be my third love. And I think this next love, whenever I fall in love, that's gonna be it. Like that will be my husband. That's gonna be my person. So that is what I believe.
Got you. So let's say you meet this guy, right? You guys are
Mm-hmm.
vibing, but he's not in Atlanta.
Mm. Long
Would you?
distance, no way.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, would you if everything was set right, meets
Mm.
all the qualifications, no wrinkles,
Mm.
none of these things, would you be willing to relocate?
If there are opportunities there for me, right? So I'm not just gonna be in
Yeah.
Idaho where I can't do anything beneficial to myself. Then
Right.
yeah, I would. I'm definitely not doing long distance. So someone has to relocate, but I will be willing to relocate. Yes.
Hmm.
If he's more established, let's say he owns property there, he has multiple businesses there, and it's less than what I have in my current location, then I wouldn't see an issue with relocating.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Tynisha, I don't know. I mean, I usually don't be talking to people this long on here. I usually
Ah,
do
yeah, we
people.
vibing. It was
Yeah.
cool. Time flying.
Yeah. I was supposed to have another young lady on here tonight, but I know she'll be on here next week. But was there anything else you wanted to add? Because I mean, I know you gave us a little peek into your experiences and things like that in Atlanta, so on and so forth. Is there anything that we may have missed that you wanted to add that
About
people
Atlanta or
about
in general?
Atlanta, about you, about what people may get, may not know about you, or that people often get wrong about you that they should know?
You know what? I don't know if people get a lot of things wrong about me because I'm very transparent. So
Okay.
that's what my YouTube channel and my brand and everything is built upon. So this me that you're seeing is me all the time. I would say that the biggest pain point, like we talked about, is sex. And I just hope that men understand that sex doesn't have to happen immediately if it's a woman of quality, because that has been my pain point with dating. If you're not busting it open by the third date, then it kind of chases men away.
Yeah.
So just be a little bit more open-minded with that. But I would say that um Sidebar, all Black women are not the same. There are quality women out there. I think that there's a lot of platforms out here that are dividing Black men and Black women. We need to stop doing that. So I think that conversations like this are really helpful, just to kind of tap into how each other thinks, how we both feel, because it seems to be a huge disconnect with that nowadays, and that needs to improve.
I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree with that. So where can people find you at, Tynisha, if they want to reach out and touch? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or check your temperature, for lack of better word. You know
Yes.
what
If
I'm saying?
y'all want to vibe a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, my name that you're seeing right now, Tynisha Talks, that's my YouTube channel. That's my baby. So, if you love discussions like these, I talk about love, sex, dating, relationships, Atlanta, and things related to Black people. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Tynisha_Renee. So, I still have discussions on there. It's interactive. I work out. So, there's some fitness stuff. I do a lot of different things. So, tap in.
And all of her, if any mods can put that here in the chat, but it's in the description already, in the description of this video. If you guys go ahead, go and subscribe to her channel, go and follow her on IG, fire her DMs up right
I'm
now.
looking for the 60-year-old men, no
Yeah,
wrinkles. Where y'all at?
facts. Y'all go ahead and jump in there. Y'all fire her DMs up. Hit that follow. You know what I'm saying? Get that, run that up. To 20K. Hopefully by the time in the next week or so. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah,
So
speaking into existence.
yeah, facts. So yeah, this has been awesome, Tynisha. I appreciate you
Yes.
coming on, tuning in. If you I needed to chop it up with you, here. So just stick around here. I'm gonna do
Okay.
my little outro with everybody here. I know people asking how can they come on the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Anything else you want to add before I know you already plugged everything. Anything else you want to add, Tynisha?
No, I think that's it. But this was a vibe. I look forward to connecting with you again. I feel like this is not going to be the only time we chat. So you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
you will see more in the future
Yeah,
for
we're gonna be
sure.
in Atlanta. We definitely gonna be in Atlanta.
Yes.
I'm gonna start doing more networking, obviously, in Atlanta with folks, like-minded
Okay.
folks, so for sure. So yeah, just stick around. I'm gonna close it out here, and y'all heard what she said. Her information is in the description of this video. Check her out. And with that being said, you know what I'm saying. You know, thanks for coming on again, Tynisha, and you have an
Yes.
awesome night. Stand by.
Thank you.
All right, bye. They go to heart.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. That was the beautiful Tynisha once again. Y'all have her information. You know what I'm saying? If you want to reach out and touch, for lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying? Check her temperature. It's all in the description. I see a lot of you were asking how to get on the show. The link is in the description. You guys can DM me on Instagram at JR Wisdom. Everything is in the description. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can email me at jrwisdomunlimited@gmail.com. Also, you can just click on my link tree. It'll take you directly to the Cuffing Reasons. Reach out to me. You guys can come on. We'll put you on as well. Guys, make sure you like, share, comment. If you haven't hit that like button, let's run this up to 100 likes. I don't know where we're at. I don't think any of my mods are in here tonight. I'm not sure. But hit like, share, comment, and subscribe. All those good things, man. Make sure you guys, if you want to book a one-on-one with yours truly, hit me up on Linktree. You know the vibes in terms of that. Every Monday, 8 p.m., just like tonight, is the Cup and Reason Show, and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got the Fried Chicken and Communion podcast. Make sure you guys tune in there as well. I also encourage you guys to become a member of the channel as well as my Patreon, where you'll get exclusive content, live streams, things like that. Also, in terms of credit, real estate, building wealth, things like that, I'll cover on there. So make sure you guys subscribe to my backup channel, JR Wisdom Unlimited, and make sure you subscribe to the Hustlers Apprentice channel if you're trying to get, more information on building credit, real estate, jobs, gigs, things like that. So also make sure you guys purchase all my books and merch. The Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind here, and Puppeteering with Heartstrings, as well as several others on building credit and fixing your credit and things like that, man. So listen, guys, much gratitude, much gratitude, much gratitude. Peace be upon you all, the mercy and blessings of the Almighty, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. You guys have been great. I'll see you guys either this Thursday or next week, but as usual, make sure you guys continue to watch all the videos. I put out 2 videos today. Probably putting out 2 or 3 tomorrow, you know. And with that, make sure you guys subscribe to Tynisha's channel as well as follow her on IG. So once again, I'm out of here, man. You guys have a great night. And I'm out of here, man. I would play some music, but you know, it is what it is. So y'all have a good night. Peace.